I've made thousands of mistakes in the last 10 years as a career coach. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the 7 biggest mistakes that I've made during this time so that you can avoid them. If we have not yet met, my name is Daniel Botero. I am a career coach for over 10 years, 6 of them full-time. I've done millions of dollars in career coaching services, and I make videos like this so that you can build a more profitable, impactful, and scalable career coaching business. Now, during those last 10 years, and 6 of them being a full-time career coach, I've made so many mistakes that I want to share with you. And I want to talk about each of the 7 ones that I think were critical to me not growing as fast as I have so that you don't have to. The first one is not monetizing my business before I left. You see, I was a career coach, I was mentoring students, and I was doing it for free. I was speaking at universities for about 4 years before I made the jump. Consider that my side hustle. And I thought that if I left my corporate job at PepsiCo making over 6 figures, at a manager level, looking to get promoted, to senior management and director level, that I can go and just leave my corporate job and then right away start making just as much as I was making. Now, look, I left PepsiCo with 6 months of savings. I was prepared to know that it wasn't going to be easy. But I didn't think it was going to be as hard as I did. And if you have not watched the video where I talk about my story a little bit more, I can tell you that for the first 3 years, I lost a lot of money. I went through my savings, which is over like $60,000. I went through my 401k. Yes, I sold my 401k. And I was in $20,000 plus credit card debt before my business started turning a profit. It's a big reason why I do this video so that you don't make those mistakes and that you can start making a profit before you ever leave your 9 to 5, or if you've already left it, so that you can do it in months versus years that it took me. And so the first lesson here, first mistake that I did is I quit my 9 to 5 too soon. I left my 9 to 5 without having a way to monetize my business. I didn't have a product or a service that I was not only selling, but consistently selling. I didn't have my marketing and sales funnel already built out. And I was figuring that out when I wasn't receiving income. And what happens there is that it generates a lot of stress and pressure. So now you build anxiety, you start generating self-limiting beliefs, which then creates this tornado or storm, which just makes it worse, which then delays the gratification, because now you're in this fear mindset and that you are afraid to invest. And that's why it took me so long to hire. It took me so long to work with a coach. And I'll talk about those mistakes soon in here, but I think it all prompted because I didn't have a proven process or system to generate clients before I left, even if I wasn't making as much. But if I knew that I had already been making, $3,000 to $4,000 a month, right, for 3 months consecutively, that was probably a better way to leave than leaving PepsiCo thinking if I leave my corporate job, I will have way more time to focus on my side hustle, and that's going to make me make more money faster. Now, if you weren't making money there doing it at 20 hours a week, you're not going to do it here if you're doing it 60 hours a week unless you have a plan and a strategy. Number 2, not having a clear niche. Not having a clear niche. I used to have this assumption, right, that I needed clients, so I was willing to work with anybody. You're a college student? Got it. You are a manager? Got it. You need a resume? Got it. You just want a mock interview? You got it. I wanted to serve everyone. And I was afraid to niche down because I was just afraid to avoid part of the market. And the reality is that the only way when you're starting out, for you to be the Goliaths of the world, for you to be the people that have hundreds of thousands of followers, for you to beat those people who've been doing it for 10 years like I have, is by you niching down. And I'm telling you guys, you need to niche down sooner than later. And when I first did it, I first niched down to college students. And I went from $0 a month to about $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And I remember my business coach, which we'll talk about that in a second, telling me I need to niche down further. And that's where I went to minorities and first generation students. And that grew my business. And then I went to international students in STEM. So international STEM students. And that was my final niche. And that's where my business really multiplied. And a big part of it was because I had a clear niche, I was able to my marketing messages to be more direct to their niche. I tracked that niche, and then I was able to deliver a better product because I was able to deliver services that only international students needed that other career coaches weren't willing to do. So let me give you just an example of what I mean by that. if I am serving international STEM students, me bringing in an immigration attorney, because these are international students here with a student visa looking to get a company to sponsor them, me bringing in an immigration attorney or bringing in an immigration expert to talk to my students on a quarterly basis was brilliant because it massively added to my program. My clients were happy because they were getting their questions answered, but it doesn't make sense for any other career coach to do. And that's the type of things that you can do. Now, here's another example. I have a good friend of mine, Samuel De Inco. I'm going to put a picture of him right here. He has a program for medical sales, people breaking into medical sales. So if you want to break into medical sales, that's your guy. And I was having a conversation with him yesterday. And he was telling me how he now has doctors and surgeons come speak to his clients on how to sell to surgeons. So he's elevating his program because he has a clear niche. And I'm telling you, from even consulting to dozens of coaches, which is what we do here at Opni, and we'll put more information below if you want to learn what we do. But we always encourage our clients to niche down. That's the first thing we do. That is week 1 of our program, is niching down. And it took me 3 years to actually find the niche. And when I did, the business really skyrocketed. Mistake number 3. It took me over 3 years to hire a coach. And that's a mistake. Look, I am probably preaching to the choir because you know that you're a coach yourself. And so the fact that you are thinking that you could do this yourself is the same reason why job seekers think that they could do this themselves too. And that is why I'm telling you, it is much, much faster to grow your business with help. There's no better way to reach any goal than to learn from someone who's done it. And when I started working with my coach, Alex Kuhn, which is amazing coach, right? My business went again from $3,000 a month to $20,000 a month because he guided me. He shortcutted me. Look, life is a trade-off of time and money. Now, you can figure this out yourself. I trust that you're smart. You're watching this video. You're educating yourself. You can do it yourself. It's going to take you more time, but you can shortcut that time by paying someone who's been there, done that, who's already walked that path and can help you avoid some of those mistakes. Now, that is exactly why we do business coaching for only career coaches, because we can help you build your business to be more impactful, scalable, and profitable because we've been able to do that. I can tell you with certainty that you could build a multiple 6-figure business because we've done that, been there, done that in multiple years. And that's a shortcut. And I wish I would have done it earlier, right? I wish I would have left PepsiCo, used some of my savings, and hired a coach. In fact, if I can go back in time, I wish I would have stayed at PepsiCo, use the money that I was getting from PepsiCo, and reinvest some of that into hiring a coach. And because of the coach, I would have gotten money and built the processes and the systems faster. And now that I have a repetitive income, then I would have left my 9-to-5. That's what I would have done, right? And I want you, if you're listening to this and you still have the ability to do that, to think about that so that you don't make the same mistake that I did. The next mistake that I did, I think is number 4, is I didn't hire a VA sooner. Right? I made the mistake of thinking that I couldn't afford hiring help. And I was spending a lot of time in low value added tasks. And that was a waste of time. And I am actually going to reference in the show notes that I recorded a video on when is the right time to hire and the process of knowing when to hire and who to hire, and check that out. Because again, when I was able to hire someone, shout out to Nati and Salo, who were my first 2 hires, it changed my business. It allowed me to create space in my head to focus on my zone of genius. It focused on marketing, focus on working with clients, it focused on sales calls, and let them do the administrative stuff. They let them do the attention to detail. Let them build the website, let them build the resources, let them attend my office hours and take my knowledge, take my content, and create videos and processes that become repetitive. And that was totally game changer. So to me, hiring 3 years into my full-time business journey was a mistake. I should have done it before I left PepsiCo, just like I should have hired a coach before I left PepsiCo. Number 5 is not having clear priorities. I remember very early on that I had shiny object syndrome, right? I thought, oh, that person's being successful on Instagram. Let me do Instagram. That person's successful on a podcast. I'm going to go do a podcast. I needed to write a book to be successful career coach. I went to go write a book. I needed to be a public speaker. I went to be a public speaker. I needed to do all of these things, and that took my attention. I needed to run ads. I needed to do all this. And when you're starting out and it's just you and maybe you and a VA, if you make everything a priority, nothing is a priority. And that is the lesson here, is to have clear expectations. There's a famous quote that Tony Robbins wrote that says, people underestimate what they can do in a lifetime and overestimate what they can do in a year. Look, I know that we get like tons of Instagram or social media that says, I became a millionaire in 1 year. I did this in 1 year. I look at my Ferrari. And let me tell you, I have met so many successful people, and all of them have one thing in common. They worked really hard at it, and it didn't happen overnight. It takes 10,000 hours to master something. And most of those people probably rented those cars or are lying to you to try to sell you a program, and they haven't really walked the walk. Or maybe they got lucky, but I'm telling you, for the average person, it does take time, it does take effort, and the best way to do that is by having a clear focus and focusing on only 3 things at once, so that you can then get momentum and create that flywheel effect that's going to allow you to be successful. Mistake number 6 is not building systems earlier on. I felt like I needed to do it all, and I felt like I didn't have time to build the systems. I didn't have time to create the standard operating procedures. And that is a mistake, because that just slows you down in the future. And I think this is a quote that Alex, my business coach, gave me. And he was like, work really hard once. Work really hard, build the process once, and then delegate it out, and that's it. And I think this also was a game changer, because I am not attention to detail. I can't spell. I struggle with that. But when Salome came into my life and she was like, she is now the director of operations. She was so attention to details that she was able to then build the systems for me. So I trained Salome, and Salome pretty much has trained everyone else in the company since then. And that's game changers. And the right processes and systems allow you to create predictable results, right? And that's what you want in your business. You want predictability. You don't want the feast and famines that you get when you're just shooting from the hip. And that's how you can avoid it, right? And then the 7th mistake is not collaborating sooner, right? Thinking that people are my competition versus having a growth mindset and understanding that collaboration over competition. In fact, I would have never gotten to 100,000 plus followers on LinkedIn if it wasn't for collaborating with other coaches, if it wasn't for building a genuine relationship with Adam Broda and Reno Perry, and then having a mastermind with them for the last 3 years, probably once or twice a year, if not quarterly, where we share each other's best practices, and they engage on my content, and that boosted. They telling me what was working for them, that boosted them, and then me sharing what's working for me, and you collaborating. Because look, I'm telling you, as a career coach, trust me on this. Other career coaches are not your competition. Your competition is job seekers that choose not to work with a coach. And I think that's what you need to think about. So look, if you resonate with this and you want to learn more about what we do, I encourage you 2 things. 1, we have a free community for career coaches, absolutely free. It's at school.com/career coaches. Come join us. We share best practices, we collaborate, and I even have tons of trainings there. 2, if you're a career coach and you want to add rocket fuel to your growth, if you want to learn from someone who's been there, done that, so that you can avoid these mistakes and more, we have a program called the Accelerator, where we work with you and help you build, for 1 year, help you build a 6-figure plus business. And we're super confident that we can help you do that, but we don't work with everyone. This is only for career coaches. So there's a link below for you to schedule a call with our team to apply to work with us. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you learn from this mistake so that you don't have to go through the pain that comes with them. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys on the next video. Bye.